there, and welcome back to the mini weekend. I'm your host, Jack. Get into a mini. Drinking the podcast. Tonight we went with Northern Soda Co.'s ginger pop. It is, if you go on their website, they are branding it as classic ginger ale, light and refreshing, crisp, a hint of lemon and honey with a subtle ginger finish, caffeine free. I like it. It's lighter and less fizzy than like your normal like ginger ale, Canada Dry ginger ale. But as much as I like this, I think I prefer ginger ale, like an actual ginger ale to this. It's not knocking this. I like the honey. I'm just not used to it. And it's a little lighter than I anticipated it to be. But is kind of, gosh, I have so many mixed feelings about this. Tastes really good, but it's almost in a roundabout way a little bit too lemony and almost making me crave an actual ginger ale. Northern Soda Co. is a Minnesota craft soda emporium, if you will. They're right off of Campus Drive in kind of like a warehouse area in New Brighton, right off of 35E there in New Brighton. You can pick up all sorts of things on their online store. And I just got an email from them this morning that for the first time you can actually have a couple of things delivered to you. So they have a couple different things. They have a Halloween 4-pack, which comes with their root beer pumpkin spice, their candy corn soda, caramel apple soda, and potion punch soda. So you bet your ass we're getting our hands on some of these and trying these out. Those sound delish, as my son would say. And then they also have a mystery soda experience. And if you go on, it's a 6-pack. You can get both of these and you can actually have, instead of going to pick them up, you can actually have them shipped to you, which is really sweet. So go check them out, northernsoda.com. Really wonderful area and wonderful place. You can go on they've redone their website since last we've done their thing. They show you almost everything. They have like an actual calendar up of upcoming events. It is worth noting they're only open Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So they have Happy Thursdays, $1 off pints. Tomorrow, the 9th, this upcoming 16th, they have $1 off pints. They have bingo. On the 19th, they have a sewing class, create a Halloween treat bag. They have a dot painting class, so a lot of cool, fun things you guys can do. I urge you, go to check them out. So many things to do. You can try a bunch of different things. You can get a tour of the place. They have a lot of games you can play. It's really a fun environment, and especially when it's a little crisp and nice out, they sometimes have outdoor games and things you can do as well, which is a really cool and fun touch. So, like I said, go check them out. Go give them some love. You guys will not be disappointed. If you've tried this flavor, let me know what you think of it. If you have other flavors you think I would like on this podcast and we should do on the podcast, also let us know. And then you can get in touch with them there on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So go check them out. And before we let you guys go, we obviously have a rating to give you guys. I'm going to go 6.5. I like it, but I don't love it. And I don't hate it. I think 6.5 is appropriate. I would get it again, but if I were going to go back to their place, there's a handful or maybe a 6-pack worthy of sodas that I would rather get over this one. So that's what we got for Northern Soda Co. Getting into Tommytown, for the week. The Tommy men's hockey team have kicked off the season in a big way, beating St. Cloud State 4-3 as both teams traded off, rattling 3 goals in a row before, Nathan Pilling, the freshman forward, scored his first collegiate goal at the 15:05 mark to clinch the game-winning goal. It was Colton Jameson. Nope, he took the first penalty. The game started off with, like I said, 3 goals from the St. Thomas Tommies. Charlie Schoen scored in the first to give us a 1-0 lead. And Lucas Wallen and Jake Branchini both scored in the second to give us 3-0 leads. However, very early in the third period, in the span of the first 12 minutes, the Huskies would score a shorthanded goal and a power play goal to tie the game up at 3. But like I said, with just under 5 minutes to play, Nathan Pilling would convert on the power play to get the game winner and give us a 1-0 start to the season, heading into our home series with the North Dakota Fighting Hawks, which will be a huge and super fun game. I cannot wait to watch Sunday's game. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be at the XL Energy Center. I don't know if I'm going to make it out. It's supposed to be at 5:07. Maybe I will bring the kiddo. Who knows? But if you're going to go, let me know. It's going to be electric. It's going to be fun. It should be a good game. North Dakota's number 10. We're number 19. Should be a good showdown, and can't wait to see how that goes. And I am eagerly awaiting the 24th to go check out the arena and cheer on the Tommies to win. Chase Cheslock was named CCHA Defenseman of the Week. He recorded a pair of assists in the Tommies win over St. Cloud State on Saturday, which was huge. He's the first Tommy defenseman to receive the weekly honor since Mason Pullman October 14th of last year, and it's only the fourth time a Tommy has received the honor. So a huge congratulations to him. Only Pullman, Gower, and Trevor Zins have received the honor. So congratulations to him, and can't wait to see where this team goes from here and how they build off of this first big game success. Like I said, for the women's team, no new news. They were off. They had a bye week this last week, and they are getting ready for a away series in Mankato with the Mavericks. Friday will be a noon game, and then on Saturday the 11th, it'll be 2 p.m. between the Mavericks and the Tommies. So good luck to them. Can't wait to see how they come out of there and if they can extend this streak to 5 or 6-0. We'll have to wait and see. And then coming up on just over a month away, we have some preseason news from both the men's and women's basketball teams. For starters, the men's basketball team back on just yesterday, it was announced that Nolan Minisell was named preseason player of the year. And him and Carter Bierke were named to the All Summit League first team. In addition to that, in the Summit League preseason poll, the Tommies were picked to finish first. So yes, you heard that right. A lot of preseason love coming off their first trip to the Summit League championship game last year. The men's basketball team was selected to finish first in the 25-26 Summit League preseason coaches poll. They received 504 points, 17 total first place votes. Behind them was Omaha with 13 first place votes, 195 points. South Dakota State had 5 first place votes, 450 points. And North Dakota State in fourth with 358 points. And then the only other team with a first place vote was South Dakota, who was in fifth, rounding out the top 5 with 342 votes. A huge congratulations to the team, and I think this is a huge win for the Tommies basketball team going forward here. Cannot wait to see how they build off of, once again, this early season success. I know they have a lot of returns coming back from last year. They made a splash in the transfer portal with some guys, so it'll be really fun to see if this team can make a push for the March Madness come the end of February, beginning of March. But yeah, like I said, sophomore guard from Brookfield, Wisconsin, Nolan Minisell was voted the Summit League preseason player of the year. First sophomore to earn the honor since Mike Dunn of South Dakota in the 26-27 season, and the first true sophomore to get that since 06-07. He quickly established himself last year as one of the Summit League's top two-way players, and he led the league in blocks per game, 6 in steals, and paced the Tommies in both categories while shooting a team best 56.2% from the field, which is hard to do at any level. Lastly, he averaged 11.2 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, scoring in double figures 16 times with 4 20-point outings. In addition to him, Carter Bierke was picked to the All Summit League first team after emerging as one of the league's top perimeter shooters and a cornerstone of the Tommies offense last season. The Plymouth native has played in all 67 games of his career, being St. Thomas and three-pointers made in his first two seasons. In 24-25, he averaged 9.8 points and 3.3 rebounds per game. So a huge congratulations to him. I honestly can't wait to see this team get underway, and it's crazy that we have to wait so long to see them in action. And then for the women's team, they were picked to finish 5th in the preseason poll, which is a pretty big and good jump for them. They continue to make strides during the 24-25 season, earning its highest finish in the Summit League standings last year since joining the conference. They closed the season with a 17-13 record, including 9-7 in conference. So, yeah, one of the other things I wrote down, head coach Ruthson will have some very large shoes to fill, losing 6 seniors to graduation, including the likes of Jade Hill, Joe Langben, Alyssa Sand, Faith Fauerbach. Nope. Alyssa Sand and Faith Fauerbach are coming back. I listed them as the top returners for the St. Thomas team. So it'll be interesting to see how this team goes moving forward and who will kind of maybe turn into the team's Jade Hill, or if it'll be kind of like a Jade Hill kind of by committee. But it should be fun to see them in action, kind of hit the ball running in the new arena as well. And then we kind of get into the beginning of the football part of the podcast here. The Tommies football team unfortunately fell short in their homecoming game, losing 21-14 in overtime to the Butler Bulldogs. Senior quarterback Andy Peters led us down the field to get an early 7-0 lead, but Butler would outscore us 14-7 first half and holding a 14-7 lead entering the fourth quarter. Quentin Cobb Butler was named the 3 key logic player of the game after a 69-yard receiving performance, including the team's first touchdown. And Nick Hand paced the defense with 9 tackles and 1 forced fumble. Unfortunately, I was unable to watch this game. Not only I knew it was on. I mean, I saw the very end of it. That was a very bad missed kick at the end of regulation. That was embarrassing to see. But quick, just recap from overtime. St. Thomas won the toss in overtime, electing the second offensive possession. Butler did manage to drive to the Tommies' 1-yard line when it appeared. Jordan Pendleton won the game on a scoop and score fumble. However, Pendleton was called offsides and the Bulldogs scored on the very next play. And then after that, St. Thomas was unable to answer despite advancing to Butler's 4-yard line. So a tough one to swallow, especially with this bringing them to 2-3 on the year and still looking for that first conference win, which leads me into, I know I was high on this team about making the postseason, but I mean, with there's still a lot of season to play. They still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. If they run the table in Pioneer Football League, they can go 6-2. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I don't like our chances of winning the division or the conference at this point. Not only do they have to be perfect 6-0 in the next in the next 6 games, but they're also going to need help, as even with 6 wins, San Diego and Butler would hold tiebreakers over them. So we would need to go 6-0. San Diego would need to lose a couple of games, and Butler would need to lose a couple of games at the very least. But hey, like I said, a lot of football have to be played, and crazier things have happened. Excuse me. Now the Tommies will travel to North Carolina, a warm place, to take on the Davidson this Saturday, the 11th. That game will be on ESPN Plus, and again, waiting and hopefully going to get their first Pioneer Football win and kind of propel them in the right direction for the final 6 games in Pioneer Football League play. As for the Gopher team, they are coming off of a good old ass kicking by the hands of the Ohio State Buckeyes. I don't think anybody anticipated us winning this game, much less playing them close. But if you're PJ Fleck, you gotta take some opportunities. I mean, throw the ball, change some things up. Drake, they were running the ball so much, and if I'm being completely honest, if you don't truck Drake Lindsay and his arm to throw downfield, I don't have a problem with that. But if that's the case, take him out and put somebody else in whose arm you do trust. Like in a game like Ohio State, like the crazy thing about it is it's not like we gave up any turnovers, 0 turnovers on both sides. We just could not move the ball. No, it doesn't show the total penalties or the total plays. But I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. I mean, we rushed the ball. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those games that you kind of look at and you say, it would have at least been nice to see some deep throws, taking some chances, trying to at least get something going, some semblance of anything. If I'm being completely honest, after that first quarter, like the first quarter, even the first half of the second quarter, it wasn't awful. Going into halftime, we were only down 21-3. But I think I speak as a Gopher fan. You just got so freaking frustrated watching that game, like just seeing the same type of shit over and over again, running it on first down, getting 1 or 2 yards, running it again, getting stopped at the line, and then having a third and long and being forced to pass. They know we have to pass, so they're bringing pressure or sitting back in coverage, and it's frustrating. Again, I don't think anybody anticipated us beating the Buckeyes, but it would have been fun to see us play them competitively at home. But PJ Fleck's play calling this last game wasn't a fan of it. And yeah, onward and upward. Lost 42-3. The Gophers are still sitting at 3-2 overall and 1-1 in Big Ten play. They're now looking forward to another primetime 6:30 game at Huntington Bank Stadium. This time taking on the Purdue Boilermakers, who are sitting at 2-3 overall and 0-2 conference standings. They are coming into this game riding a 3-game losing streak. They lost to Illinois, Notre Dame, and then USC. So hopefully they can take advantage of these, not only this Purdue game, but these next couple games. I mean, this if we play how we can and with our skill players and our good players, we have the potential to go on a 1, 2, 3, 4 game run before running into a buzzsaw that is Oregon. And the crazy thing is too, I mean, already sitting at 3-2, you only need 3 more wins to be bowl game eligible. I anticipate us winning 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, for sure 4 or 5, maybe 6 games, but neither here nor there. Can't wait to see what happens there. But yeah, it should be a good one. Excited to see if they can bounce back and excited to see if they can look better and get some better play calling from PJ Fleck. So with that, it brings us into our college football picks for the week. I didn't realize it until after I had posted last week's. I have been doing a really bad job. So with the mini weekend bets segment before we kind of got back into football season here, was doing a really good job of reminding you guys that I am not a financial advisor. Since then, I have not. So I will remind you now and then when we do our NFL picks. I am not a financial advisor, so all the picks I give you guys, do with them what you will. I'm not liable for any losses, just like I will not come after you for any of your winnings. If you have any betting gambling issues, call 1-800-GAMBLER and they will get you the help you need. But without further ado, as far as college went, didn't have a great week. We went 2-2. Vanderbilt, Alabama did not hit over 55.5, and UAB did not cover their 7 points. However, Texas and Florida did hit over 42.5 points, and Texas Tech did beat Houston by more than 11.5 points. So we went 2-2 this last week, 8-8. Haven't dipped below 8-8 yet. But again, have 4 more picks for you guys this week that I think is going to get us back in the over 50%. So let's just get right into them. The first one I like for you guys, Ohio State, Illinois, under 51 points. Look, after watching the Gopher Ohio State game, it is clear to me that Matt Patricia has this defense rolling. They haven't given up more than 9 points all year, and Caleb Downs is a dog. He was everywhere at over Huntington Bank Stadium on defense. I expect them to throttle Illinois this week. Saying has, yes, had his ups and downs this season, but I don't see Illinois being able to move the ball here against this Buckeye team. On the flip side, I expect the Buckeyes to play kind of conservative and just take their win to move 6-0 on the year. The second pick I like, Michigan, USC over 57 flat points, sorry. USC gives it up a lot of explosive plays on the ground, so I expect the likes of Underwood and Justice Haynes to run wild on this team. We also know how dangerous this USC offense can be as well. So give me Michigan and USC over 57.5 points. Third game I like from you guys, Rutgers plus 10.5 over Washington. You guys might be thinking about the traveling with this game. I'm really not too worried about this travel for Rutgers. They're coming off a bye week, so they had extra time to travel and adjust and get ready for the game. And on top of that, Washington just played 2 straight very tough games as they lost to Ohio State 2 weeks ago. And just last week, they literally had to muster up everything they could, like the little engine that could, just to eke out a barely comeback win over Maryland. So give me Rutgers plus 10.5. I think they have the capabilities to win this one outright. If nothing else, it'll be a close game. And then the last one, another Big Ten game. I like Oregon to cover at least 7.5 points against Indiana. I know Illinois is coming off a big win over the Fighting Illini, but they go on the road this week to Oregon. As for Oregon and Dan Lemming, those boys had an off week and that entire time to prepare for the likes of Indiana, the Indiana Hoosiers. So give me Oregon minus 7.5. And that's what I got for you guys this week. Ohio State, Illinois under 51 points. Michigan, USC over 57 points. Rutgers plus 10.5 over Washington. And Oregon minus 7.5 versus Indiana. And really quickly, I just found out this last week from one of my cousins. You can go on Underdog and you can actually place bets on games. I can't remember if it's over-unders, but spreads and money lines, they're calling them predictions. That's kind of how they're getting around them. The big thing is you just can't parlay them. So go check that out. Let me know if you guys want a promo code so that you can get 50% bonus money for every dollar you put in. So if you put in $100, Underdog will give you $50 in promo plays. And that is what I have for our college football picks. Now for our good friends at UNRL, guys, they got a lot of things coming out. Within the last, I think just before this last podcast, they dropped their espresso collection. So a nice brown, sleek look of everything, shorts, hats, elevation hoodies, shirts, long sleeves, all that fun stuff. And then on top of that, I mean, they've dropped a couple collaborations as well here. Where is it? Polaris, they dropped their collection with them just yesterday on the 7th. And then on top of that, they have their UNRL Unreal with Atlassian Williams Racing coming out 4 days and 11 hours from now. I believe that's 9th. The 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. On the 13th, the day before the NFL drop 1. And then on top of that, they also just announced that tomorrow, the 9th, they are dropping volume 3 of the university collection. It looks like they got South Dakota State, Iowa State, NDSU, Iowa. I don't know what that B is. Nebraska and St. Thomas. So I cannot wait. Like I said, go check them out. For those that have been watching, we just did that the other night. I'm paying a little tribute to just how long I've been an Unreal fan. You can't get this sweatshirt or this hat on their website. Got them a long time ago. This was part of their Silk series. It's also homage to the Wild, who are starting their season tomorrow night, Thursday. Can't wait. But guys, go check them out, UNRL.com. Not only are they big in athletics and everything like that, but they are the tippy top of athleisure as far as I'm concerned, as far as anybody else that I know is concerned. They have top of the line hats, polos, shirts, shorts. I mean, I don't know if you guys have looked up them. They literally have things that you can wear to work, from work to the golf course, from the golf course to the airport, from the airport to just playing with your family, playing outside to family events. You can dress these things up, you can dress them down. They have a little bit of everything for anyone. So go check them out. You can find them on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. And additionally, use my link in my bio and you will get $15 off your first order and start accruing points right away. I'm excited. And then if all of that isn't enough, like I mentioned, they just dropped a little sneak peek of the look for Drop 1, which is coming up on the 14th here. I'm super excited about it. Might be getting it, but it is worth noting that if you don't get this one, it'll be a couple weeks until they will be dropping 3 drops within a week of each other in November 4th, 11th, and 18th for the NFL. And the next Vikings exclusive drop won't be until December 9th, which is their whiteout edition. So that should be a good one. But yeah, that's what we have for UNRL this week. Excuse me. A couple things for the Wild. The season officially got kicked off last night on Tuesday. Go check out the website the YouTube page for the NHL preview / predictions episode. But on top of that, we still have another couple nights to go, or I shouldn't say that. Tomorrow night, the 7th, at the Blues will be their first game of the season. And then we have to wait until actually Saturday for their home opener against the Columbus Blue Jackets at 7 p.m. as well. Still working on a specific schedule for you guys, but I will be calling and going live for that home opening game on Saturday the 11th at 7 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel and all that stuff so that you can be notified as soon as we are going live for that. Should be a fun one. You can go to just assistlive.com or YouTube. It'll be available on both, but super excited for that. On top of that, it was announced since the last podcast that we have given starting goalie Philip Gustafson a 5-year, $34 million contract extension. So clearly, Bill Guerin and the guys liked what they saw from him last year and believe that he is, for now, going to be our starting goalie until Jesper Wallstedt eventually turns into what he's supposed to, or until we cut him loose and just rely on Philip Gustafson going forward. But he's still under contract for this year. And so he's really under contract with us for the next 6 years, because this upcoming season will be the final year of his current contract that gave him $3.75 million a year. Last year he was one of the NHL's most dependable starters, playing in a career high 58 games. Went 31, 19, and 6 with a 2.56 goals against average and a 914 save percentage, and finished 6th in Vezina Trophy voting, which was outstanding for him. So a huge congratulations to him. And after Fleury's retirement, like I mentioned, the 2021 first-round pick, Jesper Wallstedt, is poised to be his backup, and it looks like we have an insurance policy of another young guy in Cal Peterson as well. So should be fun. Like I said, can't wait to go live with you guys this Saturday, the 11th, 7 p.m. for the home opener of the Wild season. Should be a fun one, and can't wait to see what this team can do this year. And then as for the Timberwolves, not a ton of real news on the team. They are a couple of games into the preseason here. They won a 10-point game against the Denver Nuggets back on the 4th, then lost a close one to the Indiana Pacers. But so far, most of the starters haven't played a ton. In the Denver game, I guess most of the starters got time. Jade McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, Nasri, DiVincenzo, Dillingham played. I don't anticipate Anthony Edwards playing much, if at all, until we get to maybe the last couple games. We're only 2 games into our 6th game preseason, and the season will get kicked off around the 20th of the 21st, because the 20th is when we're doing our NBA preview, which leads me into so 2 weeks after we did our NHL preview on the 6th, we will be doing our NBA preview on the 20th. So super excited about that. Live calling schedule for Wolves, Vikings, and Wild the rest of the season will be coming soon. So yeah, on top of that, coming up on week 6 already, in the NFL, go check out our YouTube channel for the week 6 of our mini pick'em series. Unfortunately, we will not have any Vikings to watch as we are on our bye week, much needed after being across the pond for 2 straight weeks and preparing for arguably the toughest part of our schedule, the 4-game slate that we come back to. So before we get too much into Vikings specifically, why don't we just kind of get into, once again, our picks for the week. So like I mentioned already, I am not a financial advisor. Do with my picks what you will. I'm not liable for any losses, just like I will not come after you guys for any of your wins as well. So with that, let's just jump right into it. This week, my upset I like are the Lions -1 over the Chiefs. Much as I hate to admit, the Lions are becoming more of a complete team with Jared Goff. He can spread the ball around that offense based on the best passing matchups. The running game never lets down with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in his backfield. And on top of that, Aiden Hutchinson and Brian Branch have been revving up that defense and really making quarterbacks uncomfortable. On top of that, the Chiefs are battling a touch of a short week and don't have the same level of diversity and explosiveness around their quarterback, including a limited running game, which I'm surprised they haven't done anything to address that, as Patrick Mahomes through the first 5 weeks is their leading rusher. So like I said, I think Goff continues to get better on the road for a second straight Arrowhead win for Detroit in this one. So I like the Lions, like I said, -1 over the Chiefs. My lock for the week, +1. Lions +1. And then the lock I got for you guys, I like the Commanders -4 over the Bears. This last week, the Commanders recalibrated their season with the return of Jaden Daniels and the impact of, I'm going to butcher his name unless I read it, Jacoby Krosky Merritt, who got 14 carries for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to open a lot of exciting possibilities for the running game and this offense. Chicago is 2-6 straight up on Monday Night Football since 2020. And I just honestly think, even though Washington's defense has had some questions in the early goings, I think this Washington team is just a better team despite Chicago coming off their bye. And then with the Vikings off this weekend, we have a confidence pick for you guys, just another additional third pick. I like the Steelers -5 over the Browns. Look, I know Dylan Gabriel didn't make any major mistakes in his debut as a starter against the Vikings, but the Browns will still take more chances on the road against Pittsburgh. The Steelers had a week to rest from their London trip. The Browns did not. Opposing quarterbacks have 10 TDs and no interceptions against Cleveland this season, and Aaron Rodgers can definitely work with that. On top of that, the Steelers have won their last 4 home meetings by an average of 10.7 points per game. So give me the Steelers -5 in that game. And that's what I got in my top games for you guys this week. So kind of breaking down that Browns-Vikings game really quickly here. I mean, it was a good game. It was a tough game, like the Gopher game to watch at time, as some of that, the play calling was suspect. I'm kind of calling out KOC here when I say your offensive line is not 100%, so drawing up these long developing plays for this defense or for this offense with the depleted offensive line is just not the way to go. And I think it frustrated me, and it frustrates a lot of my Vikings fans. We go into the bye week 3-2, but I think until we get our offensive line 100%, you have to simplify the game and throw more slants, more comebacks, more simple, quick throws, and not let these defensive fronts get in and get their confidence going and make their marks early on in the game against us. Once again, 5 games into the season, we damn near had 3 come from behind wins. We've had 2 of our 3 come from behind wins. And I really don't think the Vikings are built to come from behind in every single game. So I think he has to figure out how to simplify that. And then I think I got 2 more things on the docket for you guys. So one, there's a lot of talk about who coming out of the bye, who's going to be QB1 for the Eagles game going forward. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, and this is no disrespect to Carson Wentz, but if JJ McCarthy, sorry, I shouldn't say if, when JJ McCarthy is fully healthy and 100% ready to go, I expect him to be our starting quarterback. And I think that's less indicative of how poor Carson Wentz did, and more indicative of that's our guy and he's a rookie and you have to give rookies opportunities. I think if Carson Wentz looked a lot better and was slanging that thing these last 2 games, I think there would have been a legitimate conversation of, okay, let's have a, quarterback battle, see who the better person is going forward. Because, guys, we got a buzzsaw. We come out of the bye and we have to play the Eagles at home. Then we have a short week going Thursday Night Football to LA to play the Chargers. Then we go to the Lions and then we host the Ravens. I mean, with how the Eagles and Ravens have been playing, there's no reason to think we can't go 2-2 or 3-1 in that stretch, but we're going to have our work cut out for us nonetheless. And again, I'm the first to say Carson Wentz did not look that bad. I think if you're Kevin O'Connell, though, you have to look for what's best interest of the team. This team is built to win now, and you have to give JJ McCarthy these opportunities while he's young so that he can continue to develop and take those steps. But again, whether it's Carson Wentz or JJ, you have to simplify the game plan of this offense and be throwing better passes and change things up. I loved that touchdown pass from I can't remember who the running back was, but he threw the ball to Josh Oliver, and I loved it. Like, it's not that like you have to be throwing that type of shit all game long, but throwing a couple of those every once in a while, like keep defenses on their toes. Like that's what it's for. That's what you had to do. So that's what I got for that game. And then the last thing I got for you guys, I got 4 more picks like we did last week. I'm rolling really well. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys too. We did really well in terms of our NFL picks this last week. In our weekly picks, we went 4-0 as the Colts won by at least 6.5 points. The Panthers won outright. They hit their +1.5. The Vikings won by 4 points and they hit the over. So we're 4-0 this last week. We're 12-5 total for our weekly picks. And then including our other bets, we went 2-2. The Lions covered and the Broncos outright won. And then our over-under picks did not hit. So as a total for NFL picks, we're sitting at 14-7, which is pretty awesome. So this upcoming week, we'll see how they do. I still have yet to get a single in-game pick going, so it's probably a good thing. We're 0-10. Good thing we're probably getting an off week to kind of recalibrate all those picks. But yeah, without further ado, the 4 other picks that I kind of like this week for you guys. I like the Bengals +14. I really do think the Packers are the better team in this one, but I think Joe Flacco coming in, he brings, a different style, and could make things interesting. I think there's no way they win, but I think with Flacco and a different quarterback at the helm, I think it'll be a little bit closer of a game. I expect the Rams to cover 7.5 points this week. Cowboys Panthers to go over 49 points. And then the Raiders Titan game to go under 41.5 points. That, in fact, will be a game that is televised this week. Thankfully at noon on Sunday, but will be televised. So yeah, should be another fun week. It should be a low-key week because we don't have to stress and worry about the Vikings too much. But that is what I have for you guys. Per usual, reach out with any questions, topics you guys want us to talk about on any podcasts in the future. Let us know if you want to stay anonymous, but make sure you go to all of your social media. Follow us on social media as we are always doing drops of content, looking for ideas from you guys, all that sort of stuff. But also make sure if you go to the YouTube channel, click subscribe and then comment on any of the videos saying I've subscribed. We will reach out, comment, interact with your post, and then send you a free mini weekend sticker as well. So tell your friends, go do that. And until next time, Mini, Skull.